I think we all think of tagliatelle as that kind of thing near enough. So all I do for pappardelle is just straightforward, is that. We do these. So for pasta in the restaurant, if you have a main course pasta at our restaurant, Sticky Walnut, you've got 8 of these that go into our boiling water and then into the pasta. I just find it much nicer to eat the pasta when it's more jumbo size like that than the tagliatelle. It's just a much nicer consistency. So all I'm doing is cutting my large ribbons there. Also in the restaurant as well, we try not to have anything that's too sort of, we don't like food that's too poncy. So where in a lot of restaurants, if they made fresh pasta, they'd probably trim the end there. You see where it's just it's a bit raggy at the end. Doesn't matter, doesn't make any difference to the flavour of the pasta. So that just goes straight in, as thick or as thin as you want it. Just lay those out. One trick we have in the restaurant as well, because we have to make quite a lot of pasta at once, we make the pasta before our service and then we keep it stored in the fridge. But the thing is with pasta, because of the moisture in it, if you leave it in a fridge not stored properly, it'll all stick together. So we'll be in the middle of service and I'll say to Isaac, grab one pasta, and he'll go and grab all this pasta and it'll all be stuck together like that. So a trick we have in the restaurant is we take polenta, but it works the same with couscous, basically any sort of small grain that won't sort of get incorporated into the pasta, but it will let the pasta just sit on this tray and it won't come stuck together. So we've got our large ribbons of pasta, or pappardelle, however you want to call them, and they're just sat on top of this polenta, and so much easier to pull off. So we've got our boiling water here. Isaac's got the goat, which has been braised, marinated and then braised, and then some of the tomato sauce which we made, which is just, like I said, a basic tomato sauce. Onions, garlic, tomatoes, thyme and rosemary, just cooked down for a few hours. So pasta goes into the boiling water. You've got some tongs.
Good question.
Did we bring tongs?
We brought tongs.
So I've got the pasta. Important when making fresh pasta, if it's dried pasta, throw it in your boiling water, no problem. With fresh pasta, if you put it in boiling water and don't look after it straight away, it'll all stick together. So important now, water goes in, and what Isaac will do as soon as that goes in, won't you, Isaac?
Yeah, I'm sure he will.
Is he'll take the tongs and what he's going to do is just loosen up all the ribbons in the water. So immediately they're not stuck together. People will tell you with your water when doing pasta, and I even heard this with dry pasta, you know, throw loads of olive oil in it, throw loads of oil in the water. You don't need to do that, do you?
No, you don't.
No, you don't need any oil in the water.
Some at the minute would be nice.
Yeah. Olive oil in the water?
No,
you don't need olive oil in the water if you look after it like this. So you're just loosening it up. You can see that pasta, because it's fresh, it's in there, 15 seconds it's in there, and then out into the sauce. Out into the sauce, and we just finish it with some fresh herbs. Another thing with our herbs and things like that in the restaurant, we don't spend too much time chopping herbs really, really small. We don't mind store. With pasta as well, that as soon as the pasta comes out into the sauce, that you're tossing it. It's all very well having your pasta and your sauce, but until they come as an ingredient as one, it's not that nice to eat. So by tossing it in the sauce, you're coating the pasta. That needs a good sort of 30 seconds of being tossed. I know for myself, when I have bought in pasta at home from, say, the supermarket, you buy the sauce and you buy the pasta. Drop the pasta into the water, sauce in a separate pan, goes into the sauce and out. It doesn't give you the effect that you want, which is every bit of pasta is coated in the sauce. So, got a funny foil-looking tray here. So, out comes the pasta, not very elegant. And then all we finish it with, same in the restaurant, is just some fresh parmesan grated over the top. Okay, so that's our pasta dish. So we'll finish with the semifreddo now.
I must admit, I do need a hand with this.
Get some parmesan on the pasta. I'll finish this.
Okay.
So our semifreddo. So we've got our egg whites in a bowl, full speed. There's no need to worry about your egg whites. They're not going to all of a sudden go somewhere. You can have them on full speed. Treat them quite harsh. Then we've got some sugar. We got sugar?
We've got sugar.
We've got sugar somewhere.
Yeah.
So like I said, add the sugar slightly gradually, and you won't end up with a problem with it. If you dump it all in at the start, it'll probably take about an hour to come up, if it does at all. So, I don't know if you can you see this on the screen? I don't think you can you? Okay, I'll explain to you what's happening now. What's happened is it's not coming up as a meringue, but it's gone sort of foamy. Definitely not a meringue, but just foamy. I wouldn't add the sugar until that sort of foam starts to happen, because I might have a flat meringue if I do that. So I can see that it's come up this sort of foamy mixture, and I'll just start adding my sugar. People will tell you as well with meringues, add a bit of lemon juice. Add a bit of salt, I've heard. Add this, add that, add baking powder. If you make it right, you don't need to. It's the same with the pasta. Have the right ingredients and the right recipe at the start, and you don't need to add any extras. So, adding slowly there. You don't need to take, 15, 20 minutes to do it. Sort of 2-3 minutes of adding the sugar, and you'll have a lovely meringue. If you want to grab the cream, and we'll add the nuts.
You notice it's rocking the whole table.
Yeah, it's sort of pasta machine's about to fall off as well.
Yeah.
Grab the cream, and we'll put the praline through that.
Yep. It's in the fridge? Oh yeah, it's in the fridge.
Yeah, cream out the fridge, yeah. So just adding that sugar gradually. I've got my cream here, and this is our praline, our walnut praline. So I'll just add this into there, straight in. Again, with your praline, we've bashed it up. So what we had was a tray of caramel and nuts. Once it was set, we bashed it up. So you could use a pestle and mortar, you could use a machine if you wanted. One thing we do in the restaurant is we take the praline, put it in a cloth, wrap the cloth over and hit it with a rolling pin. So however you want to do it. And what we always say with the praline is, however you like it. If you want it to be powdery, then bash it up a lot. If you want big chunks, which aren't very good for your teeth, keep them bigger like that, which is lovely to eat. So I've got my praline and my cream. My meringue's come up now. Again with the meringue, don't take it too far. Again, you hear all these soft peaks this, stiff peaks that. When it doubles in size, it's ready. So there's my meringue. Still quite loose. All I'm going to do is add the two together. Have we got a whisk? Did we bring a whisk?
We brought a whisk, yeah.
Okay, so I'm adding the two together. What you'll read as well in cookery books, and I did a few years on a pastry section, and this is where I learned this. Cookery books, it'll tell you fold in 3 stages. Add once, fold it, add again, fold it, check it, fold it, take over this. The reason that they tell you to fold ingredients, especially in things like meringues and creams, is to keep the air inside what you're making. The air is why it stays lovely and silky. The time that you spend folding is knocking out air. Essentially, it's working worse for you than whisking it. So I say, instead of folding something 3 times with a spatula, which is fold, 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 and then again fold, 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 you're knocking air out. If you just take a whisk to something, quickly whisk, that'll do less damage, I find, than folding 3 times. So I'm bringing all the ingredients together. You can actually eat this, and we do, just like this.
Yeah. When he's not looking.
Yeah, when I'm not looking, half of it goes, yeah.
That's right,
I'll just put that in the show form, I don't want to use that anymore. So what I can do is I'll just come round and show you, but basically all a matter of doing now is taking this semifreddo, putting it into a container and putting it in the freezer. So you can see there that it's come together. I mean, I would dip my fingers in that. If anybody wants to, that's fine. Go for it. Gorgeous. Anybody else? Dip a finger? I love. By the way, we don't dip our fingers in the food at the restaurant. You can get a bigger dip than that. I know that my niece will have a big dip of this. Go on. Dip your finger in there, go on.
Nice.
She doesn't like nuts, by the way. Anybody else?
I want to do a...
We've had about 5 fingers dipped in it already. Anybody else?
Thanks.
So, really simple. Into your containers, into the freezer.